Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we will learn about vector spaces with the help of examples. I assume that we all are familiar with the physical quantities such as vectors and scalars. Vectors are the physical quantities that possess both magnitude as well as direction, represented by arrows. Or we can say that these physical quantities have appropriate length and direction emanating from some given reference point O. We sometimes we call it origin. Examples of the vectors are velocity, acceleration, force, weight, and so on. Whereas scalars are the quantities that possess only magnitude, such as temperature, speed, volume, work, mass, and length. So let us understand the concept of vectors and scalars more elaborately. For a start, I will consider scalars. Let R be the set of real numbers. Then any element xy belonging to R are called scalars. So with the help of these two scalars x and y, I will try to represent a vector. I had already assumed that x and y are scalars that belongs to real number r. Draw a line of magnitude x. So here I had draw a line of magnitude x starting from origin O in the direction of x-axis or horizontal direction. The end point of this line is x0. So since this line has a magnitude as well as direction, I can represent this line as xi cap, where I cap is the unit vector which tells the direction of x, and here I cap means the direction is towards x-axis. Consider another line having magnitude y and the direction of this line is in vertical, so upward directions in the direction of y-axis. I will write this line in the form of vector which has magnitude y and direction j cap, that is in direction of y-axis. The end point of this vector will be 0 and 1. If I try to add these two vectors, say x, this vector u and this vector v, then I will get a new vector. By parallelogram law, this new vector will be like this, and I write this vectors xi cap plus yj. So here you have seen that with the help of two scalars x and y, I constructed a new vector w vector written as xi plus yj cap. Mathematically, we represent this vector with x comma y and write it like this. So here w vector is equals to x comma y containing two tuples. Similarly, the set of n tuples of real numbers are denoted by Rn and is called n space. The vectors of Rn are written in the form as u equals to a1, a2, so on, an, where the ai are scalars that comes from the set of real numbers R. We called ai as coordinates or components or entries or elements of u vector. The two vectors u, say u vector and v vector, are said to be equal if only if both has same magnitude and same direction. If you say that u vector is 1 2 3 and v vector is 2 3 1, though the magnitude of both vectors is same, but the vectors are not equal because the direction of both vectors are not same. With 0 0 0, we represent the 0 vector in the Rn space or n space. Let us try to construct a vector with the help of elements from real numbers or say scalars. So I try to construct a set of vectors from R2 space starting from two elements 1 0 and 0 1. So I want to introduce the concept of vector addition. Here with reference point O, this vector with endpoint 1 0 represent the vector unit vector I cap, and this vector with endpoints 0 1 represent the vector j cap, written as 1 0 and 0 1. I included these two vectors in V. By vector addition I means I will add two vectors to create a third vector. So here 1 0 plus 0 1 equals to 1 1, which is the vector in diagonal direction having endpoint 1 1. So this vector is the sum of vector 1 0 and 0 1. Introduce this vector in the set V. So V contains now 3 elements 1 0 0 1 1 1. Now we will multiply a vector with some scalar from the real number r. Let's say x, I multiplied x with 1 0 to get the vector x0. If x is greater than 0, then the new vector will be in the direction of x-axis and magnified vector having endpoint x0. So again I introduce this vector in V. Similarly, creating more vectors as a linear combination of these two vectors 1 0 and 0 1, I will get a new vector xy. So I again introduce this vector in the set V. So continuing in this manner, I will get infinite number of elements in vector V. In other words, I can say that I have created a vector set V which is equals to r square, 2 space r square. So you can see here that scalars are coming from real number, set of real numbers r, and with the help of these elements from r, I am creating a set of vectors which I denoted by V. So the elements that coming from R are scalars and the elements that are coming from V are vectors. Next we will define the vector space. The definition of a vector space involves a non-empty set V whose elements are called vectors, a arbitrary field F whose elements are called scalars. Nothing will be lost if we assume that F is either a real field or a complex field. Throughout the chapter we will use set of real number or complex number as a field. So a non-empty set V together with two binary operations called vector addition and scalar multiplication is called vector space over field F if it satisfies certain number of conditions or properties. So number one property is that V is closed under vector addition. That means if we take two elements UV belonging to non-empty set V, then U plus V also belongs to V. This property is called closure property. Second property is closed under scalar multiplication. That means if U and V are vectors from non-empty set V and we choose a scalar alpha from the field F, then alpha into U also belongs to V. Other properties depends upon the vector addition and scalar multiplication. Number 1. Vector addition is associative. That means if I add V plus W to U from the right hand side or U plus V to W from the left hand side, then both values will be equal. This is called associative property, that vector addition is associative. Number 2. Commutative property, that vector addition is commutative. U plus V must be equals to V plus U for every UV belonging to set V. Third property is existence of identity. There exists a vector 0, also called zero vector in V, such that vector 0 plus vector V equals to V, or vector V plus 0 also equals to V. In non-empty set V, there exists element called identity or a zero vector, such that adding zero vector to another vector means we will get the same vector. Fourth property is existence of additive inverse. As you can see that V is closed under scalar multiplication, that means if I choose alpha equals to -1, then for every u belonging to V, minus u also belongs to V. Existence of inverse says that if vector u belongs to V, then there exists some minus u belonging to V, such that vector addition of these two vectors u and minus u is always equals to 0 vector. Property 5, the distributive property over addition and multiplications. If you multiply a scalar alpha from field F with the vector addition u plus v, then you will get alpha u plus alpha v. Sixth property is also distributive. If you add two scalars alpha plus beta and multiply it with vector u, then you will get alpha u plus beta u. Seventh property and eighth property are simpler, saying that alpha beta into vector u equals to alpha beta u. And eighth is there exists an identity belonging to field F. If you take real number, then I am saying that 1 belongs to R, such that scalar 1 into vector u equals to u. So a non-empty set together with vector addition and scalar multiplication over a field of scalars F is said to be vector space if it satisfies these properties. So if I include the closure properties, then there are 10 properties. So let us continue with the examples. For our first example of a vector space, I consider a non-empty set Pnt consisting of all the polynomials of degree n or less than n. So here Pnt is a set of polynomials such that polynomial is of type a0 plus a1t plus a2t square a3t cube an tn, where these coefficients a0, a1, a2, ai belongs to field F, where F can be real field or complex field or any other. Here Pnt is a non-empty set as it contains all polynomials of this type. We want to prove here that the Pnt is a vector space. For proving this, first we have to define the binary operation over polynomials like vector addition and scalar multiplication. Let p, t and qt belongs to Pnt. These two vectors therefore can be written as summation I0 to n ai t raised to power I, where coefficients ai come from the scalar field F, and qt equal to summation I0 to n biti, again bi comes from the field of scalars. Here vector addition of two vector pt and qt means that I will add the coefficient of the t with similar degree, same degree. So pt plus qt equals to summation I equals to 0 to n ai plus bi into t raised to power I. Since it is also a polynomial of degree n or less than n, therefore it belongs to Pnt. So I can say here that Pnt is closed under vector addition. Next is closure property for multiplication, that Pnt is closed under scalar multiplication. Let us consider alpha scalar belonging to field F, and I will multiply this scalar with vector pt. So on multiplying you will get summation I equals to 0 to n alpha into ai into t raised to power I. Since again it is a polynomial of degree n or less than n, it belongs to Pnt. So here we can say that Pnt is closed under vector addition as well as scalar multiplication. Now for the other property. Since you can add these two polynomials in any order, say you can write pt plus qt and then add third vector say rt to it, or you can add qt plus rt and add pt to it, the answer will be the same. So we can say here that the vector addition is associative. Second property is the commutative property. You can add two polynomials in any order, the result will always be the same. Vector addition is commutative. Third property is the zero vector or identity in addition. So you can consider a zero polynomial of the form 0 plus 0t plus 0t square plus so on 0tn. Adding any vector v to this zero vector, say pt plus 0t, will be equals to pt for all pt belonging to this set Pnt. So there exists a zero vector. Fourth property is existence of the inverse. So here inverse for pt will be minus of pt, that is minus summation I equal to 0 to n ai t raised to power I. Moreover, the scalar multiplication is also distributive, and if you try, then you will get that fifth, sixth, seventh property and eighth property are also satisfied. So we can say here that P and T is a vector space together with binary composition, vector addition, scalar multiplication over a field. Let us check second example of a vector space. Let M be the set of all 2 cross 3 matrices with entries coming from the field F, where field F is the set of scalars, either it be real or complex. Next we will see that how two matrices are added. Let A B belongs to M, then A will be of type matrix of order 2 cross 3 and B is also matrix of order 2 cross 3. When you add these two matrices, then A plus B equals to like this. First entry added to first, second entry added to second. So this is the vector addition for our non-empty set M. Scalar multiplication. If I choose a scalar alpha from field F and multiply with matrix A, then again we will get a 2 cross 3 matrix. That means this alpha A belongs to M. So our set M is closed under vector addition and scalar multiplication. Now comes to the other properties. Matrix addition is associative. Also matrix addition is commutative. There exists zero vector in matrices, and in this case that zero will be matrix of order 2 cross 3 whose all entries are 0. So this is the zero matrix. You will see that if I add any matrix A to 0, then I will get A. Fourth property is existence of inverse. If A belongs to M, then its inverse will be minus A. As minus A is also 2 cross 3 matrix, so minus A belongs to M. So there exists inverse. This set M also satisfies the remaining properties related to scalar multiplication, distributive properties. Alpha multiplied by 2 matrix is equal to alpha A, alpha B. Same for this property, 7th property and 8th property. So since M is the non-empty set and it satisfies all the properties, so we can say that M is a vector space over a field. V contains element xy. Xy are the elements from the two-dimensional space, or say R square, such that x is greater than x0, y is greater than equal to 0. Let field F be also the set of real numbers. So here this non-empty set V represent the first quadrant of the two-dimensional space. So if I want to check that whether this V is a vector space over a field F or not, let us see that if I choose a scalar alpha equals to say -1, it belongs to field F, and multiply alpha with a vector of V, that is xy, then I will get alpha x alpha y, that is minus of x minus of y. The minus x minus y vector for x say greater than 0, y greater than 0 belongs to third quadrant. So you can see that this non-empty set V is not closed under scalar multiplication. So it can't be a vector space because it is not closed under scalar multiplication. So by this I will conclude my lecture, and thanks to you all for listening this lecture. So please like and subscribe.